If you're really faking it, what are you really making? The things you have really matter. Your cars, your lifestyle, they do really matter. They're not just props. The goal isn't to just move, it's to move with intention. Stop expecting friends and family to be your main supporters.
You're now tapped into the Culture Code, where business, creativity, and culture collide. With VIP Vern, entrepreneur, visionary, creator. This ain't commentary, it's lived experience. Let's decode.
Welcome to another episode of the Culture Code. Today's episode, we're diving into 3 topics that I think everyone can relate to. First, the things you have really matter. Second, understanding the difference between progress and movement. And third, why you can't always expect friends and family to support your business. Each one connects in a deeper way. It's about awareness, alignment, and how you show up in the world. Let's get into it. So the things you have really matter. Let's talk about something I hear people say all the time. Fake it till you make it. That phrase sounds good. It's cool and catchy, but it's actually one of the most deceiving statements out there. Because if you're really faking it, what are you really making? You can't build longevity or real success on pretense. The things you have really matter. Your cars, your lifestyle, they do really matter. They're not just props. They matter because you have substance behind you. When I was living in Beverly Hills, I was living 5 minutes away from Rodeo Drive, and I purchased a Porsche Taycan. I dressed well, I moved intentionally, but none of that was about appearances. It was about being ready for the rooms I wanted to be in. Having nice things doesn't make you shallow. It's how you use them that matters. For me, they became tools for access. I started conversations. I connected with people who moved like I did. But I also had to tread lightly because when you're doing well, you attract both purpose and opportunists. There's a hidden language in how you present yourself, who you really are, the substance you have. You got to know the difference between pretending and preparing. So instead of fake it till you make it, the mindset should be faith it till you make it. When you have belief, authenticity, and work ethic, you don't have to fake anything. You just grow into what's already yours.
You're now tapped into the Culture Code.
Let's talk about the difference between progress and movement. Because a lot of people look busy, but they're not necessarily moving forward. Social media makes it easy to confuse the two. You see people posting, sharing, talking about grind culture, but when you really look at it, what's changed? What's been built? What's actually growing? Movement is motion without direction. Progress is motion with purpose. I had to learn the lesson myself. There was a time when I was everywhere, shaking and baking, moving around, building multiple projects, staying visible. But I realized that visibility doesn't always mean velocity. Sometimes the best progress happens in silence, when nobody's watching. That's when you actually lay the foundation. I had to step back and let my work speak for itself. Because when your work starts speaking louder than you, that's when people start listening differently. The goal isn't to just move, it's to move with intention. So I'm going to share with you a personal story on how this applies to me. One day I was on my balcony and I was just sitting there and I was just chilling and I was looking out. This is during the pandemic, by the way. It hit me like an epiphany or a ton of bricks. And I kept saying to myself, all right, where are all the people who I see moving around and showing all this movement where are they? They're supposed to be in the same vicinity. See, because I'm going to tell you something that I realized. A lot of people are really good at fooling people, confusing movement for progress. There's a lot of people who do that. They get into the right place, the right event, the right situation. They show up, take some pictures, and you really think that they're moving. They got success. They're steps away from greatness. But it's all an act. You know, and I know a few people like that. We don't need to mention any names, by the way. But yes, that's their gig. That's how they move. That's how they vibe. That started to show more and more that my movement may be confused with their movement. And I had to eliminate some of that process that I was doing because we can't seem like we're doing the same thing and we're actually not. I'm doing something completely different. So that to me, in essence, was like a wake-up call. It was like, yo, you know what? I have to make sure that I move with purpose going forward so I don't get confused for a fraudster or a carbon copy of somebody else trying to do something similar to me.
This ain't commentary. It's lived experience. Let's decode.
Stop expecting friends and family to support your business, please. One of the biggest lessons I've learned as an entrepreneur was exactly that. Stop expecting friends and family to be your main supporters. It's not that they don't care. It's that they don't always see what you see. This is why they call it vision and call you a visionary. You can't expect people who knew you before your vision to automatically understand the version of you that's building it now. Sometimes this perspective is tied to who you were, not who you were becoming. And honestly, they might not even be your target audience. Strangers often support your business first because there's no emotional attachment. It's a clean exchange. They see value, not history. The people who are meant to align with your vision will. The ones who don't, that's fine too. Friends and family are not there to support you emotionally, not necessarily to validate your business. Your audience, your real supporters, are the people who believe in what you're building, not just who you are. So shift the mindset from why aren't they supporting me to who is this really for? Because once you stop forcing validation, the right audience starts to appear right in front of your face. I've been in several lines of businesses. Like I said, I was in events. I threw parties. I mean, difference between parties, corporate activations, events, all of those different things. I couldn't expect now that that same audience from then would be the ones to purchase this Legends of Creativity luxury everyday wear. I started that out maybe like 15 years ago. That's not the same audience that I have currently now. So why would I get mad or upset when someone who knew me from that period of time doesn't want to buy something that I have to offer now? And on the same side of that too, I remember I was having lunch with my boy, shout out to Marquand Smith, by the way, MGM, Godfather of Harlem. He's the real McCoy. If you haven't checked out that show, check it out. But Marquand and me were having lunch, and we had a conversation. We were talking about frozen perception, how people see you as who you once were. You were this person maybe 10, 15 years ago. Maybe you had an argument with them or whatever, and they still see you in that same light. But it's okay for them to proceed, for them to become successful, for them to forget the little running they had, and you can just let that go by. But on the other side, they're still stuck with you being that same old version of yourself. So that's why I use this in this example with me now to show how this really applies in my own life, in my own world. And I want you to have that understanding for yourself that, listen, you love your family, you love your friends, but you're going to have to separate the two from each other. You can't expect these people to ever support you in the way you expect that to be. And it takes a lot for you to do that, because on the same side, you like to look to these same people for advice at first. Like, hey, you know what? I got this business idea. I'm thinking about doing this. And it can actually backfire against you as well, because those people will still look at you and be like, oh, why you want to do that, man? That's not you, or whatever the case may be. And be like, what do you mean? So what happens now? Do you now take what they tell you firsthand? You take that to heart? You stop what you're doing? You don't continue down the road you want to go because now that friend or family member planted doubt inside of your head? Is that the road that you want to take this? Is that the way you want to go? No, it's not. There was a reason you had that vision, like I said before. There's a reason why you were planted with that vision in your mind. It's for you to nurture it, let it grow, and let it take off. Put the right people around you to do that. Take that mindset out and be like, look, man, I'm going to do what I need to do. I'm going to stay focused. And eventually the right people will come along, because this is what I really want to do. I'm going to stay focused on it. I'm going to stay on message, and I'm going to execute. Thank you for joining us for another episode of the Culture Code Show. If you have any questions or a topic you'd like to hear discussed, I'd love to hear from you. Looking forward to decoding more with you again. See you next time. We love you. Take care.